right, this is Bees Talk, brought to you by Talking Boston, and me and Bobby are going to go over some of the Atlantic Division, a little bit of the Metro, and then just some other things going on with the Bruins. But first, let me talk to you. If you're looking to bet on the NFL or you can't stop betting on Major League Baseball, we have the promotion for you. If you are in New Jersey, Tennessee, Indiana, Illinois, Colorado, Iowa, or Michigan, sign up for Caesars Sportsbook and use our exclusive promo code SPORTS20RF for a risk-free bet up to $5,000. Yeah, $5,000. This offer is unprecedented and in the sports betting industry, so make sure you take advantage of it today, and best of luck on those games. All right, Bobby, how do you feel about the Atlantic Division?
I'm very excited that it's back. The All Canada division was a little weird last year, but I'm excited it's back. I just love playing Toronto and Tampa Bay multiple times a year. It's a lot more high intensity, a lot more competitive. I feel like in the middle of the season, the Bruins got a little complacent last year because we were just rattling off wins, and then we were dropping games to Philly because they felt like they didn't matter. So I'm just kind of happy to have a little more of a competitive edge back on the schedule. I don't know how your take on that is. That's how I feel.
I won't miss seeing Mackenzie Blackwood having 50 saves against the Bruins, but then blowing any other game for the Devils. That was ridiculous. That team was so bad until they literally came to the Garden. They were so bad.
It was literally like what's his face there, the Celtics killer, Green there. That every time he does nothing all season, and when we play the Celtics, he's the second coming of Michael Jordan, drops triple doubles.
Seriously,
it's the same thing. New Jersey, they would just show up when we played them. It was the most frustrating thing in the entire world.
Yeah, and you know what? I won't miss. In a way, we didn't treat them well. We should have gone 7-8-0 against them. That roster's horrible. I feel bad for the two Hughes brothers. I hope they're good, but just New Jersey. They're gonna have to win a Hart Trophy and then complain and then get traded to actually have a good career. Team. I think. Yeah, and they did. And then they think that Dougie Hamilton's the answer, which we know too much about Dougie Hamilton. Honestly,
he's so soft.
Yeah, I mean,
he's good. He's got the hands and stuff, but like the guy is so soft. I think that showed when we had that playoff series against him when he was in Carolina. Was that time's flying? Was that 2 years ago now? 3 years ago?
Yeah, that was
that was the cup year. We ran through them, but it just, you could tell, but he just did not want to be on the ice game 3 and 4. He was trying to be the big bad wolf, and he was just getting put in his place. So I mean, they can choke on that contract that they gave him all they want.
Oh my God,
Dougie Hamilton.
Oh my God, let me get the exact numbers. I forgot how ridiculous
it was over
was.
4. I know it was over 4 years, correct?
4 years, $63 million.
Yeah, like no,
he's not worth that.
Have fun paying Dougie Hamilton 16 sheets a year.
7 years, 63, $9 million average annual. That's a top 5 defenseman contract, and he's not that.
No, I mean,
I'm sorry, he's not.
I mean, I don't know. I'm all set with Dougie Hamilton. That team is just gonna be a dumpster fire no matter. They gotta hope their draft picks pan out. They need some work before they're back to where they were in 20. I'm dating myself now.
01.
The year they made, even after that, what was it? Early 2010s was when they made that last cup run with old Marty. Yeah, they'll need to rebuild the next couple of years. But also looking at the division, Tampa's going to be good again because somehow they retained everybody. If you want to talk about that for a second.
You know what I'll say though is seeing that third line, that Yanni Gourde, Barclay Goodrow, that line breaking up it's not going to get talked about enough. Like you saw, Yanni Gourde was the Energizer Bunny on the ice for whatever his shift was, a minute to a minute 30. He was like, in hockey, obviously the puck goes all over the place. So in like the TV, like that camera guy has to follow it. He's never not in the picture.
He's like a spider monkey. He's all over it.
And he's ridiculous.
And I do envy that. I'd love to have a guy like him on the roster.
Yeah, I think Seattle really got a stud. That he's one of those guys like when Vegas stole William Karlsson. He comes to Vegas, gets on that first line, and is balling out. I really think that Yanni Gourde could take over that team.
So what I do like, if we want to transition, and since you got my mind on Seattle now, I do. We touched on it a little bit, but I like a lot of what they did in that expansion draft. Whereas
They had a great
they
draft.
did not go as top heavy as Vegas did when they had that expansion draft. Like Vegas was like locked and loaded, ready to go. Like not to be a cup contender year one, they needed to be a playoff contender, and they ran it
Yeah.
into the cup, which was great to watch. But I think Seattle's a lot better at playing the long game, the way they structured that team. They got a lot of young guys, a lot of guys that are solid hockey players, and they're setting themselves up for success. Like three,
Yeah.
4, 5 years from now. So
And I
that's gonna be
think,
fun to watch them develop and flourish. And they're gonna right out of the gate,
yeah,
they'll probably make playoffs year one. I was just looking at their
yeah.
division. It's not gonna be
Oh
tough for
my,
them to get in, but
we could talk about that really quickly. That's a really quick conversation. You look at the Pacific Division, you got Seattle, Calgary. Poor Johnny Hockey. Get him out.
yeah, who
Vegas,
else is in that division? Vancouver, Edmonton.
so Vancouver, Edmonton, the LA Kings, the Sharks, Canucks.
Are
So
the
we
are
went
the
through it all,
Ducks?
right?
Are the Ducks in
Yeah,
that
yeah, the
division?
Ducks.
Anaheim?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which another team of the past. They haven't done anything
Yeah, it's a
relevant.
whole west. It's like Western Canada, West Coast. Yeah,
Yeah,
that division's soft, and it
that
used to be. You look at those names like 5, 7 years ago. That division was loaded.
division was loaded. You know what's funny is you have actually there's a decent sprinkle of like American talent in there. You have Calgary, you have Johnny Hockey,
Yep.
but get him out, please. That
he needs to get out of Dodge. He needs to go
please.
somewhere else.
Yeah. Anaheim just got Trevor Zegras.
I saw that.
Coming off the Olympic USA Olympic Juniors. Vancouver has Brock Besser, who I think it was 2 years ago, maybe either 1 or 2 years ago. He won the sharpshooting competition.
Yep.
He's got a cannon, but I mean Vancouver had
He's
COVID.
accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, they had COVID for what, like 14 game stretch where they then had to make up games. It's
hmm
ridiculous. San Jose Sharks, I mean, they're out. They're out. I have nothing to say. I don't.
Yeah,
I
they missed their opportunity was a couple years ago against who did they play in the finals?
Yeah, you're right. I
I'm drawing
forget
a
who too,
blank. I forget who
but
it was too, but I was sad to see Jumbo Joe not take that home. Even though he
yeah.
cussed out everyone in the upper management in Boston on his way out in 2000,
I
was
mean,
it
if you're
3,
gonna,
4 now?
yeah, I think if you're gonna leave, that's how I want to leave
He
too. I
went
mean,
down. He went down swinging.
yeah, he did. Yeah, the Kings are too. They're in a rebuild. They're
They are.
so
Which
yeah.
they can't be upset with that. They terrorized the Western Conference and the league for 4 years. So
Yeah, they had a terror, and then I mean, Edmonton is. I mean,
they're stuck in such a rut, and it's so annoying because their top two
no, you know
lines are
what they?
so good. They just,
Hey, but
I don't know.
you know
I
what
don't know.
they
They
did
need, I think
though?
maybe a coach. Maybe
No,
they need a
what
new coach over
they
there.
finally went out and got another quality defenseman.
They did.
I'm looking at it now. I want to say it was the guy from Chicago. I want to say it was Seabrook, or is it
They got Seabrook, didn't they?
Yeah,
Or no, was it?
no,
Yeah,
it
right.
wasn't Seabrook.
They got a big body.
They did get a big body. I don't know why I can't find it. Oh, they got Duncan Keith.
Yes,
Very
he's
old,
not the
but
guy
I
I'm
mean,
thinking of. Not a big body, but yeah, he's old. He's good. He's a good. He'll be.
good player.
I'll, trying to think if maybe they'll spread out their talent and put him on the first line pairing or maybe second line pairing. I don't know.
I
We'll
think
see.
I think you have to. You got to put him out there first, and then I mean, Darnell
Yeah,
Nurse is coming into his own. He's a very good player.
yeah, I like him a
Um,
lot.
Mike Green has always been a good player. Another old guy.
Very old guy. He had his heyday on the Caps.
And Evan Bouchard. He's a decent player. Tyson Berry. I mean, again, this team should be decent. This team should be good. Not
It
even
doesn't
decent.
make sense because what it is with Edmonton, and like, you see a lot of these teams, the younger guys have the problem is they're great in the regular season. They just pump everyone they play.
Yeah,
And then come playoff time when you need some grit, you're getting worn down. You need to be a little more tough. The game's complete playoff hockey is completely different than regular season hockey. It's much more
yeah,
physical, grinds you down, and that's when you see these scrappy teams like Montreal that just kind of made that run, which they do not nowhere near as a top 4 or even 5 most talented team in the East, but they made that
yeah.
deep run just because they were gritty, they were physical, and they didn't get worn down.
You want to talk about you want to jump back to the Atlantic, or do you want to run through the Central Division first? Because we could talk about the Atlantic.
If we want to circle back to the Atlantic for a quick
All right.
second, this doesn't really have much to do with hockey. It's something cool that happened today. One of my buddies is in management for his his family like construction company, and he was checking out a job site over in Brighton near Warrior Ice Arena where the Bruins do their practice and their camp. And
Beautiful.
he was outside checking where they're gonna lay some curb. And Chucky Pucks was on a jog down the road with his earbuds
Oh,
in. Gave them a
oh,
nice little wave. Looked gas. So my friends, I didn't like say hi to him. Just gave him like a wave. It's like, oh my goodness, that's Charlie McAvoy. And he was
that's
with
great.
clients, so he didn't want to yell. So he just texted us. He was like, I just saw Charlie McAvoy outside the arena. So
That's awesome.
Chucky's up and running around. So those lower body injuries and head injury he was battling in the playoffs seems all
Yeah.
right. He's
I mean,
intact.
I'm not worried. It's still August and then September, and even so, how many teams really win a Stanley Cup in October, November?
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's also just great to see a guy like that not getting complacent. He's out after practice, going on
yeah,
a run, just staying in shape, ready to go. So you like to
yeah,
see a team leader doing that. He'll have an A on his chest in no time.
very soon.
He's got to be the guy, I think, this year that gets it in lieu of Krejci leaving.
I think so. I was gonna say because I had a feeling one of those was open.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's either him or Pasta, but you don't want to just dish it out to all perfection line. Like I get it, but
Don't let me get ahead of myself here. When he signs his, because McAvoy, we get him to sign back, right?
yeah.
Bergeron's got what, 5 years left? Who knows? Maybe down the line, he's a guy with a C on his chest. We'll see.
Oh God, I like it. I
I
wouldn't
did
complain
too.
about it. All right, but anyway, so Montreal, you lose. You'll look at the stats, you'll look at the numbers. Philip Deneau didn't technically do much, but if you watch any of those playoff games, his faceoff percentage was just ridiculous. And I mean, his presence on the ice, he was physical. He was beating the hell out of. I mean, even the Tampa center. I forget who he was going against. It might have been Stammer, but like they threw him out there because he was physical and he would win faceoffs. So it allowed them to play that big physical style. But him leaving is big. And who else did they just lose? That was a big deal. I forget, but
If you remember, like while you're thinking of that, to go back to what you're saying about like they were all four of their centers really were great in the face-off dot, which was good for them. But I watched a lot of hockey. One thing I just never pick up on is because it's not like really something unless like you're a student of the game watching. Like one of my friends picked up because he played hockey his entire life through college. Is they controlled the neutral zone so well in those playoffs. Like teams just could not get the puck through the center of the ice. So I was watching when they're making that big comeback in the Toronto series. We were just hanging out and watching.
yeah,
They just locked up like Toronto. Like they went out to that early lead. They were up 3-1 in the series, and then Montreal just locked down the neutral zone, and they just could not get the puck out of their own end. They could not get the puck in deep, and that's how Montreal was able to shut them down. And then they knocked a couple gritty goals in for 3 games in a row, and they
yeah.
find themselves in the next round. So that's just something to look out for. They really need some pure goal. I hate crediting the Canadians with that being said because I'm a Bruins fan, but they need a couple of pure goal scorers on that top line, and they'll be scary.
I mean, I think just playing the American game, I'm thrilled to see Cole Caulfield be a good player.
Yep.
But if he could, forget how to play when he comes to Boston, that'd be cool. I mean,
Yeah, that'd certainly be helpful.
he definitely looks like. I mean, and you know what else too. I don't know what others would say about the actual Stanley Cup final, but through those playoffs, he did not look like a stranger. He
No,
didn't blink. He had
not
points.
at all. Yeah.
He was creating opportunities. So I mean, I think he's a kid to watch out for. But I don't think that team is ready to make.
No, you need him to
tough.
continue. Yeah, you need a guy like Caulfield to keep making strides in that right direction, and then you also got to add a couple pieces. But
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
you know what I was gonna say is Perry. What's his first name?
Yeah, that was a Corey Perry. Yeah, that was a great
Corey
addition.
Perry.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
that's a vet. He was very good back in his Anaheim days.
I think he was even good now. I think, especially in the playoffs, like you saw, they didn't really push a pace where until Tampa really pushed them. They didn't push a pace where he couldn't hang on the ice. Like as an old big vet.
He's no stranger to that. He's very experienced in playoff hockey, especially. So
Yeah.
you add guys like that, it really helps, especially helps in the locker room in those games.
Yeah, and I think it's so justified that Corey Perry got a 2-year deal in Tampa. I mean, he was on Dallas, lost to Tampa, and then now on Montreal, lost to Tampa. I think it's finally his time to hopefully not beat the Bruins, but I mean,
I just still don't understand where Tampa's finding money or tricking these
I
players
don't
into
know.
signing these contracts so they can go and get these other guys.
I don't know. That's the thing with Tampa too. They didn't lose any of their defense, which was they were one of those teams that protected instead of doing 7-3 with your with what you protected, they protected I think 4 defensemen,
Yep.
which I remember I think it was 2 years ago now where they got Ryan McDonough and my
Yep.
brother asked me, he goes, "Hey, what do you think of the New York Rangers?" I was like, "Dude, I don't know. I want to say it was accidental that they just traded their best player, but they really just traded Ryan McDonough away to
No,
someone with
yeah, I know.
he's
He's a good player. He's always
he's
been a good player.
yeah, I'd say he's a defenseman. He's first line defenseman on any other team, but he
Yep.
happens to be on the same team as Victor Hedman,
Gives me
who's
huge Dennis Seidenberg vibes from McDonough the way he plays hockey.
yeah, and then you have another Russian, Mikhail Sergachev.
Sergachev. He should
Yeah,
he should be a Bruin.
he's a stud.
We
He's a
passed on
stud.
him in his draft. I love him.
We
Do you want
we
to
were
switch
so
over to the
good.
Metro?
Yeah, let's go to the Metro.
Take it away.
Wait, no. Last thing with the Atlantic, Florida. The Florida Panthers are a team to watch.
They
They're
are.
finally
They're
here.
up and coming. You saw
Yeah,
the back half of last season too. They're coming.
no, they're good. Florida's gonna be good. Toronto, I don't care. They won't beat us in the playoffs if they get there. Doesn't matter. Ottawa, Detroit, Buffalo will remain useless.
Yeah,
Is what it is.
Buffalo, once they trade Eichel, are just in a full blown. I don't even know if it's a rebuild. You might see that team get sold this year. And,
Seriously.
and I'm not trying to be mean. Like you might see a change in ownership. They need to completely clean house, top to bottom, and reset.
You could see it, honestly. We could think about cities that could use a team, but Buffalo might be losing theirs.
They,
Um,
they're
it's bad. All right, so the Metro, Columbus Blue Jackets, they lost Torts, their coach. So
I love Torts. Guy's outside his
and
mind.
Seth Jones, where'd he go? I was
I
hoping
didn't even see where Seth Jones ended up. Actually, I just saw that he's gone, and then I didn't really follow that headline.
Seth Jones is gone. The only guy they do have, oh, he went to the. We do have to talk about when we get back to the Central Division. He's in Chicago. That team reloaded, but
Yeah,
so
they're up because does it look like Taze is going to play next year? Do you know what's going on with him? Because he had that big. What was it? Was it his heart that he had the issues with? Is that why he sat out last year?
it was some medical condition that was
Yeah,
not pretty to
I
talk
think he'll
about.
be ready to go, which will be good for that. I mean, that's their captain. I mean, and then Patrick Kane was essentially just playing by himself last year. So
Honestly, which he was doing great, like
yeah,
a vintage Patty Kane year. It was impressive.
it's just they were not in any position to be winning games, so no one really cared.
Yeah, yeah,
It's kind of like that stretch of years on the Caps where Ovi would just score 50 goals every year and be like a minus 20 still because they were so bad.
yeah. I think so. I don't know how much more juice they have left. The Capitals themselves. I mean, if you have, as long as they have number 8, they'll be a contender. They'll be you can't count them out. Like even in our series, like you can't. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I wasn't nervous every time we touched the puck.
Oh yeah, I mean the guy
But
is
if
a
it
clap.
yeah, but if it
The
wasn't
guy he just
him,
has a rocket.
yeah, I'm hoping he does go for the goal mark. I think it's maybe 5 years worth of another 5 years of Ovi is what they signed, and I
Yeah.
mean it'd be cool to see it. But
First of all, that contract is terrible, and I'll tell you why.
it's funny.
You were going to be paying that guy. How much was it? $10 million a year
Plus, there's more.
plus. It was more. Whatever they're paying him, like it might be mid-teens, but you're going to be paying that to him when he's 50 years old. Is the last year of his contract.
Yeah, that's
That is something to think about. Like I get it, but and the reason they had to give him that much is because he wants to be the highest paid guy in that locker room, which he deserves. But the reason you have to pay him that much is because Backstrom is making more than him last year.
yeah, that's
So I think that
that's
was a
trash.
point of emphasis for him. He's like, I'm not the highest paid player on the team. So they just had to dole out every last cent they had. I think they were looking
Yeah,
under seat cushions for money for him, but
yeah, and
he's
then
maxed out now. So
maybe what is it? Evenji like Kuznetsov. Hopefully he
yep.
doesn't like cuss out a teammate so he could just stay in the locker room. That's great. You're supposed to be a
Kuznetsov is
pro.
so good too. They're just going to
He's
sign all the Russians and throw them on that team.
yeah, yeah. That so I mean that
Excuse me.
team. I think that team is. But so you're in an Islanders division. I really think you could say it's an Islanders division. I think Pittsburgh is in a spot where it's. I mean, if it's not,
They're in a tough spot too. That
they're in a
team,
tough spot. I
because
thought
you've essentially wasted the primes of, I want to say wasted, but like the last 3 years, Crosby and Malkin. You've just kind of, that team's gone stagnant where they end up in the same
yeah.
spot every year, and they haven't really made real strides to get back to where they were.
I will say
Um,
though, Tristan Jarry forgot how to play hockey.
he did. No, yeah, that was
That was
really odd to see Pat last year. Yeah,
that was the worst I think playoff like performance from a goalie I've ever seen.
yep,
That was
that
so
killed them.
bad. It wasn't even I don't know. I don't even know what to say. That was just he forgot how to save pucks. It was
Oh yeah.
so bad. And that's what they get. That's what they get for getting rid of Flower and then getting rid of Matt Murray. So that's what you get.
Where's Fleury? Where's Fleury at now?
Fleury's in Chicago.
Chicago. That's where he went. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's to rip through the rest of the Metro. Columbus, I have no fear of. Carolina, they can't win a series. They almost lost to
Yeah,
Nashville
I
this
mean,
year.
I mean, the issue with them too is they lost a lot of, especially vets coming off that. After they got bounced by the Bruins back in 2019, they lost some guys they weren't able to replace. They still have enough talent to get to the playoffs, like we saw last year, but they're not going to make any noise.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think
against Nashville, that was crazy to see that series, but
that series was like would have gone down as one of the most ridiculous upsets. Like
didn't they have
Nashville,
two double overtime games in that
two
series?
double overtimes.
Yeah,
Nashville should have been swept.
yeah,
Should have been swept.
But
Good for them to not.
yeah. Who else we got?
The Flyers. They'll always be.
They are the Bruins' little brothers. Besides
Yeah,
that time in 2009 where they came back from 3-0 and beat us, but we don't have to talk about that
we don't have to talk about that. That's long gone. I mean,
because we won the Stanley Cup one next year. It's fine.
yeah, honestly. I mean, yeah, I think I almost feel bad for Couturier and Giroux. They've done so much and gotten absolutely nothing. The Rangers.
Yep, go ahead. No, I was going to say
okay.
Claude Giroux growing up was just, I mean, especially a Bruins fan again, the Flyers and the Canadians are who you're taught to hate. Claude Giroux was a pleasure to watch growing up. He was unbelievable. They did that like Road to the Winter Classic one year. I think Philly was playing Pittsburgh. And he's just a great guy. He's hysterical. Fun to see that side of him.
So the Rangers are going to continue to just not be good, I think.
They're a lost cause. Poor friend Matt Mesner has to watch that team.
Yeah, he's that whole New York boat is just tough. Islanders,
they'll be good again. They're a good hockey team.
They got to be the favorite. Yeah, they got to be the favorite in that division. Matt Barzal is pretty good at hockey. They'll probably be okay.
Yeah, we could have drafted him, but don't worry. We have DeBrusk, Zaboral, and who's the other guy?
Exactly.
Talked about this last time. We don't have to talk about it again.
I don't want to.
As you can tell, I'm hurt by it.
Yeah, and then the Devils are in that division too, so that's a really strong one. But so in the West, in the Central, sorry. Dallas Stars, that roster's comical. The Blues have no more. I would say they lost their offensive juice. They're now just a bunch of bullies that can't find the back of the net. I don't even know what's going on with the Coyotes.
They have what's his face? Did they get a couple good young kids? But the Coyotes are far off from doing any damage. So they need I don't know. They need a good free agent pool. They need. Yeah, that team's not even worth talking about right now. They're not with anyone. They have cool jerseys, though. That's about it.
They do have cool jerseys. They probably have the coolest retro logo.
Yeah.
The Winnipeg Jets. Mark Sheffley's really good at hockey, but he can't do it himself.
They never filled the void of Dustin Byfuglien when he retired 2 years ago. Their decor suffered, and then we just took what's his last name?
Forbit.
Yeah, we took Forbit from him.
Yeah.
So they need to replace the defenseman. As far as I've seen, I haven't seen anything about them bringing anyone in or anyone that's up and coming through their farm system. So
no. So what I'll say right now is you'll get that first seed is going to be Colorado. That's locked up.
Yeah,
no question.
they're just head and shoulders above everyone else in that division.
Yeah, I think the 2 and 3 will come down to Minnesota, Chicago in either order.
Yep.
And then Nashville. Nashville has a chance to get that wild card in the West.
Yep. No,
So
Nashville will be that wild card team, I think, again this year. And I know we're looking so far in advance, but all the rosters, look at them on paper right now, assuming no injuries through the season, they'll be locked into that wild card spot.
yeah, that's pretty much that. I mean, that's pretty much what we see throughout
Yeah.
throughout the preseason. It's super early, but that's what we see.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that might just as well wrap us up, Bob. That was
Yeah,
solid.
no other headlines I can think of coming out of the NHL, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks it starts to ramp up a bit as we
Yeah,
October's right around the corner, so
yeah. I think
we're
so.
already in the dog days of August, so we're getting close to some hockey.
Yeah, next week we'll really go through that schedule that the Bruins have, and we'll talk about it on a monthly. See
Yep.
what's happening. But right now, just looking at the teams realigned and actual divisions, it's exciting.
Yep.
I like our
NHL is
chances.
back. It's back to normal.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, normal. I mean, we have 32 to first season with 32 teams, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Has the NHL put out any COVID their COVID rules, guidelines, all that?
Not that I've seen. I'm just gonna assume they're probably gonna follow suit with what NFL and like the NBA inevitably are gonna do. They're just gonna test the players and stuff. But Canada's border, they're really not gonna let them travel. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That'll be a heated discussion, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks for joining us on Bees Talk and tune into the Boston Sports Network 2.0. Thank you guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.